This is the GameSir Kaleid, my new favorite Xbox controller. This controller is a wired controller from GameSir, and it looks really cool, but what is really amazing about this is the features that it has. So before we go into features, let me just tell you how cool it looks like. Basically, it has a clear faceplate and you can actually see the details underneath it. So like the naming, GameSir Kaleid, and also you can see the effects of different things that we have on this controller, which I'm gonna talk about in a second. But moving on into just the visuals, as you can see from the box, you have a RGB on the front panel. And to show you how cool it looks like with the RGB, well, I'm gonna use the included really nice braided cable to show you. As you can see, it's really nice RGB effects. If you are into RGB in your gaming space, this controller has you covered. But what is really cool is you can actually program the colors on it. So for me, where I like to have my gaming things into the black and white or black and red, I could actually set it to be just the white or red, which is really cool. But if you want to have RGB or just the way it is stock out of the box with the RGB flying from color to color, it is really nice for that too. Speaking of which, you're gonna find a nice, really nicely braided long cable for your controller. This controller is made for Xbox, so you can use it with your Xbox Series X, S, as well as Xbox One and your computer, so PC with Windows 10 and 11 will work just fine with it. It is really similar in terms of shape to the stock Xbox controller, even to the point where the two are really similar in the back with the triggers and the buttons. And while this controller isn't a wireless controller, it is a wired controller, as with all third-party controllers, which is really the only thing that I can say that I wish was a little bit different. I wish there was an option to have this wireless, but I know how it is with third-party controllers, so it's not something that GameSir really can, change. But what is really cool about this controller is the features that it has. First off, not only it looks so nice in the blacked out version without the lights, I'm just gonna have to say that is my personal opinion, it looks really cool with all the things that we see here. And I said that there's one thing that you see in person that I didn't mention before, which is, well, it has Hall effect sticks. Yes, this has Hall effect sticks, meaning that they should last you way more than traditional analog sticks, as well as just being more precise and overall better for usability. In my opinion, I never really play FPS games on Xbox. Usually I play it on PS5 where I have my custom controller, but on the Xbox, I never really like to play them because I feel like the sticks are just not precise compared to my normal controllers that I use every day. With the Hall effect sticks on this controller, I was really having no problems playing right away. They center really nicely, they're really nice in terms of like the dead zones and the way they feel. And one little editorial note, the dead zones on this controller are amazing. There's literally no dead zones. You can really push down the dead zone settings in the games and is really nice for precise aiming. And it's much better than the Xbox Elite Series 2 controller. And one last thing I will say is the sticks themselves are a little bit more loose, so it's a little bit more like the stock Xbox controller compared to PS5. Usually I play on my custom PS5 controller, which has really stiff sticks so that I can be as precise as possible. So my first gameplay with this was a little bit all over the place, but it was just because I was used to a little bit more stiff sticks. After a couple of minutes, I was playing as if nothing really changed. It's just that it's a little bit slightly lighter, so it's more like if you have the traditional Xbox controller, the one that you have with your console. This is about how I would say they are. So it's, if you're liking that kind of style of a controller, that's how it is. And also the body itself is pretty much like the stock Xbox controller. So if you like that, for some it's going to be amazing, for some it's not going to be this, but as you can see, it's pretty much like a stock Xbox controller. But other than that, I would say they're really good sticks. Really nice travel, really nice, just feeling, and they center really nicely. With the Hall effect, they really are great. We also have Hall effect triggers, which means they are supposedly better for longevity of this controller, which we're gonna see in the future, but from how we know how the controllers are made, that is a really nice way. Also, we have two extra buttons on the back. As you can see, they're really nicely placed, so where you have the middle finger here, they're really easy to press, and they're like a mouse click in a way, so like a micro switch, which is really cool, really easy to click. and they're pretty big surface area, so it's easy to get to those two buttons no matter your hand size. Also, we have 4 vibration motors, so I'm guessing 2 here and 2 by the triggers. And also, the most important part about this controller compared to any other controllers are the micro switches on the A, B, X, and Y, and the D-pad. Just listen to how it compares to a traditional controller. This is a normal stock Xbox controller, and just listen to how the face buttons work. Now let's go over to the GameSir and hear how micro switches from them work. I'm sure you hear the difference. Essentially, the face buttons on this one, which sound so cool, is kind of having like the switch on your mouse on your computer. Essentially, there is no travel distance between your pressing and the button, so you don't really have to travel to press that button. It's instant. It's pretty much like an on-off, so it's like instant moment you click it, it registers. And it's really cool for those people that are actually into that kind of micro switch kind of a controller. Same thing with the D-pad. As you can hear, it feels like a mouse click, and essentially you could say that is what it is. It's like a mouse click where you just on off without the travel between it. You also have the GameSir Nexus, which is a software where you can actually remap the buttons, tune your sticks and triggers, change the light effect on the sides, and you can have up to 3 profiles on that software, so you can change it between your games. And you can also update through the GameSir Nexus. Overall, I really like this controller for being what it is, with really nice build quality in terms of the actual what is in the controller and how you're gonna feel it when gaming. So instant buttons, Hall effect sticks, and triggers, everything is just made to be solid, just have longer life, and overall just better for your gaming. It's really a solid controller that I can highly recommend, and now I have to say is my new favorite controller for Xbox. If there was one thing I would change is the wireless mode, but there is no way to do that on Xbox, so I'm gonna take it as it is. And you know, even though I am talking about wireless, most of the time when I play at home, I'm playing wired anyway, so it's really no difference at all. And it gives me a nice alternative when playing on Xbox to play those more intense games, more try-hard mode with all the different settings and the buttons, extra back buttons, micro switches, everything is just better for the more try-hard gamer. And with this controller we actually get a 1 month of Game Pass Ultimate subscription. Overall, I'm really surprised how good this controller is, and I'm really loving it. Definitely I'll be using this over the stock Xbox controller, and like I said, it just built to be really good, but also is not too pricey because it's cheaper than the stock Xbox controller. If you have any more questions about this controller, let me know in the comment section down below. With that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. I hope you guys enjoyed this video once again, and I'll see you next time.